Welcome back. I'm Dr. Mohammad Uzair, and today we are going to start a new topic of thermodynamics. The new topic is the energy analysis of closed system. In chapter number 2, we have already studied about the general energy equation. The general energy equation was for open as well as for closed systems. For the energy balance, we normally say that the energy in to the system or the energy entering to the system minus the energy leaving the system will be equal to the change in the energy of the system. So here in this chapter we will discuss about the energy analysis of closed system. Before going to start the energy analysis of the closed system, we have to define a new term which is called moving boundary work. Sometimes it is also called PV work. As you remember, the area under the curve on the PV diagram is always equal to work. That's why the P times the change in the volume is basically equal to the work, or it is called the moving boundary work. Normally, the moving boundary work is the work which is associated with the moving boundary. So for this type of work, there should be a piston cylinder device. So whenever there is an expansion or compression process in a piston cylinder device, then you will get a moving boundary work. Let's suppose we have a piston cylinder device, as you can see here. So this is the cylinder, and we have a piston on top of this liquid or gas. Right now, for this gas or for this fluid, we have a pressure of P which is exerted on the wall of this piston by this fluid or by this gas. So in any case, if I'm going to apply the heat transfer, or by any means, if there is any expansion or compression process, then this piston will moves up and down. Let's suppose in this case it is moving from this point or this line to this line. So it is basically covering a distance of ds, while the area of the piston is A. So we have a area of the piston which is A, and it is moving and covering a distance of ds. So basically there is a new change in the volume from here to here. So here, if we have a constant pressure, if we have a constant pressure, if you are going to maintain the constant pressure of this gas, so this piston will rise upside linearly. So if I'm going to write down the equation, since we know the work is the force times the distance covered by this piston. I'm writing a B here just to mention that this is a boundary work, and this delta sign or inexact differential is used to show the change of the work. I am not using D here or the delta sign. I'm using inexact differential because the work is basically a path function. So by the definition of the work is work is equal to force times the displacement. So I can replace this force value by PA, because the pressure is force upon area, so force is simply pressure times the area, and we have the ds here. So if I'm going to combine this area times this ds, then you will get the dV, or change in the volume. So pressure times change in the volume is simply the boundary work. Because we have the constant pressure, so we have this P and then dV. But if we have a variable pressure, if the pressure is going to change, then if you have to find the work, then you have to integrate it between two states. So normally the boundary work is equal to the integral of P dV from state 1 to state 2. So this is the basic equation of the boundary work. In any case, if the pressure is constant, then I can easily take out this one outside, and then it will be P dV, which is like this one. So depending upon the case, either it is constant pressure or the variable pressure, you can rewrite the equation. But remember, this equation is the basic equation, and we will start from this equation, and then we will check either the pressure is constant or not, and then we will integrate the equation between these two limits, and we will get the boundary work. For each process, we need to determine pressure as a function of volume, because if the pressure is not constant, then we cannot integrate until we are going to replace this P by any function which includes the volume, because we have the dV here. Now, in the moving boundary work, if we have the piston cylinder device and it is moving up and down, if there is expansion process, then WB, or the moving boundary work, is always positive, while the moving boundary work is negative for compression process. So whenever there is compression, you will get a negative value, while for the expansion process you will get a positive value of the boundary work. Normally the area under the process curve on a PV diagram represent the boundary work, and you can see here we have a PV diagram. We have a piston cylinder configuration, and it is moving from this point. Let's suppose we have a V1 here, from this point up to this point. So it is moving like this one, and right now we are not assuming that this pressure is constant, other than we are saying the pressure is variable, the pressure is going to change. So as we can see, the piston is moving and we are getting an expansion process, because the gas or the fluid is going to expand. That's why you can see the pressure is going to decrease while the volume is going to increase, and you will get a curve like this one. So we have the curve like this one. So if I'm going to check the area under this curve between 1 and 2, so simply I'm just going to take a strip here which is dA, and this will be equal to P times the delta V. So if I have to get the whole area, then I have to integrate this dA, like this dA. So if I'm going to integrate this dA, so I'll get like this one, which is 1 to 2 P dV, and this one is basically the moving boundary work. So area on a PV diagram will be equal to boundary work. So moving forward, here if you can see, we have a PV diagram. Here we can see we have expansion process between state number 1 and state number 2. But in all these three cases, the system is following different paths. We have A, B, C, we have different paths. So if we have the different paths, then the area under the curve will be different for each case. In this way, you will get different boundary work. And here, if you see, we have a larger area under the curve of A. That's why we will get the higher boundary work here. So we have the higher boundary work for this area, because for this curve, because the area under this curve is more than other curves. And here the net work done during a cycle means if we have different states but the initial and final state is identical or same. If the initial and the final state is same, then it is called a cycle. So here, if you can see, we have a state number 1, we have state number 2. So this initial state, it's going upward. There is a compression process. In the compression process, the pressure will increase, the volume will decrease. We have another state which is state number 2, and then we have an expansion process where volume is going to increase while pressure is going to decrease, and then we have the final state. And in this case, the initial and final state is same. We have basically a closed loop. So the net work done during a cycle is the difference between the work done by the system and the work done on the system. It is a difference between the work done by the system and the work done on the system, and it should be a positive value. Now, because we have a boundary work which is equal to integral of P dV, so here we have to define that how we can find the boundary work for different cases. Let's suppose we have a constant volume process. Here, if we have a constant volume process, then dV or change in the volume will be 0 because there is no change. So dV is 0. So you can see on the PV diagram, this is state number 1 or this is state number 2. In this case, we have a constant volume process because the volume of state 1 and state 2 is same. So what will be the boundary work? The boundary work will be equal to 0 because we don't have any dV. There is no change in the volume, so dV is 0, so boundary work is equal to 0. So in any constant volume process, we will not get any boundary work. For constant pressure process, if we have the constant pressure process, then you can see here we have a PV diagram and the pressure line is constant. We have a state number 1 and we have a state number 2. So you can see here, in this case we have a compression. We have a compression because volume is going to decrease. If it is expansion, then the direction of arrow will be on the other side. It will go from here to here for the expansion process because we have to increase the volume. Now in this case, because the pressure is constant, so how we can find the boundary work? Simply we will use the basic equation which is equal to P dV, the integral sign of P dV between state number 1 and state number 2. As in this case, the pressure is constant, so I can take this pressure outside from this integral sign. So it will be P or P naught because the pressure is constant between state number 1 and state number 2, and then it will be P integral sign of dV. Now, if I'm going to integrate between 1 and 2 and dV, so for this one we will only get the change in the volume. So it will be V between these two limits. So I can write the P V2 minus V1. So the boundary work will be P V2 minus V1. So for the constant volume process, we have the boundary work which is 0, and for the constant pressure process, we have boundary work which is equal to P V2 minus V1. Now, if we have constant temperature process, we had a constant volume process, we had a constant pressure process, now we have a constant temperature process. In the case of constant temperature process, we will get a PV diagram like this one. We have state number 1, we have state number 2, and right now we have a compression process. It's moving up and reaching to the state number 2. Now, if I'm going to find the boundary work, so basic equation is like this one. We have a boundary work which is the integral of P dV. But the problem is, in this case, dV is not 0 and even P is not constant that we can take it out from the integral sign. So how we can solve it? In this case, we have to replace the P, the pressure value, by an expression in which we will have a volume. But the problem is we have a constant temperature process or the isothermal process. So how we can replace it? For an ideal gas at constant temperature, let's suppose T naught, as we know, the PV is equal to mRT. This is, I'm talking about the ideal gas. So this is equal to mRT. So if this is mRT and we are talking about the closed system, so mass will be same. There will be no mass change. R is the constant value, the gas constant. And in this case, the T is constant because we are talking about the constant temperature process. So this whole term is a constant value. So if it is a constant value, so in this way, I can say the P, the pressure is basically equal to C upon V. Now here we have a C which is constant and we have a V. So I can replace this P, this one, by C by V. If you remember, this is a law as well. Now if I'm going to change this one by C by V, so it will be like this one. So we have a boundary work which is P dV and this is C upon V dV between a limit 1 and 2. Now this C is a constant value, so I can take it outside from this integral sign, and then it will be C, the integral of 1 upon V dV, like this one. Now in this case, if I'm going to integrate this one, so what I will get? I'll get C ln V between limits 1 and 2. So applying the limits, I'll get this one, C ln V2 upon V1. So we have C ln V2 upon V1. And what is C? C is a constant value, which is this one, PV. So either it will be P1 V1 or it will be P2 V2. So I can write like P1 V1 ln V2 upon V1, or I can write P2 V2 ln V2 upon V1. Remember, if it is 1, so it should be 1. So P1 V1 or P2 V2. So you have to use these same numbers or the values at the same state, either state number 1 or state number 2. So in this way, I can solve for the constant temperature process. Now, we are going to solve some problems for this moving boundary work. The first one is, a rigid tank contains air at 500 kilopascal and 150 degrees Celsius. As a result of heat transfer to the surroundings, so heat is going out. The temperature and the pressure inside the tank drop to 65 degrees Celsius and 400 kilopascal. So temperature and pressure is decreased respectively. Determine the boundary work during this process. You have to find the boundary work, and for the boundary work we have the formula, which is WB is equal to integral of P dV, and we can draw the PV diagram like this one. Now the problem is, If you see the question, we have a rigid tank. You can see the first word, a rigid tank. Rigid means that there is no change in the volume. So it means the process is going to take place at constant volume. So 1 to 2. So the process is basically at constant volume. So if we have the constant volume process, so the boundary work is 0. There is no need to solve any other thing. Simply because dV is 0, so boundary work is 0. So I'm not going to check any other data because we have the boundary work. We have the rigid tank. For rigid tank, we have dV which is equal to 0. That's why the boundary work is equal to 0. Moving to next question. Here we have a mass of 5 kg of the saturated water vapors at 300 kilopascal is heated at constant pressure. Now it is heated at constant pressure until the temperature reaches 200 degrees Celsius. Calculate the burden by the steam during this process. Now here you can see it's a constant pressure process and mass is given, the pressure value is given, and the temperature is given, which is the final temperature, which is 200 degrees Celsius, and you have to find the burden. And you can see here we have a steam. We don't have any ideal gas, so you cannot use the PV is equal to MRT equation. So for the boundary work, you can see like this one. We know that the boundary work is equal to P dV, then because sign of P dV. And in this case, because we have the constant pressure process, so I can take this pressure outside, and then by using the integral, I'll get P V2 minus V1. So I'm just getting P V2 minus V1, and in this case we have V, which is volume, not the specific one. It's a volume, and then we have the pressure. So simply we have to check the difference between the volume, and then we have to multiply with the pressure, and you will get the boundary work. Now here we have the volumes, and we don't know any volume in the question. So I am going to replace this capital V by m times the specific one, because you know the specific value is always equal to the capital or the actual value divided by mass. So V will be equal to this. V will be equal to if I'm going to divide this one by mass, so it will be small v, or the V, capital V, will be equal to m times this specific one. Same this way, V1 will be equal to m times the specific V1. So I can replace this capital V by small v, and I have to multiply with this mass. So here we have a PV diagram. So you can see we have PV diagram. This is a 300 kilopascal, which is given in the question. The pressure between 1 and 2 is same, so there is no change. We will get a straight line here, and we will state number 2. We don't know about the volumes here. So how we can get the volumes? So starting from here, you can see at state number 1, we have a 300 kilopascal, and we have saturated water vapors and saturated. So as we know, as we studied in chapter number 3, we have to use the steam tables for this case, and we will check the values from steam table. So we have 300 kilopascal, and we have the saturated water vapor, and then on the state number 2 we have the 3 kilopascal and 200 degrees Celsius. Students, be careful. Whenever we have ideal gas, then we have to use PV is equal to MRT, and whenever we have any pure substance, then we have to use the tables. In this question, we have water, so please do not use the ideal gas equation PV is equal to MRT to find out any property. So always you have to find the properties using table for water or any other pure substance. So here in this question, we have 300, sorry, we have 300 kilopascal, and then we have saturated vapor here. So you can see here we have saturated vapor. So we have 3 different tables. We have A4, we have A5, and then we have A6. as we already studied in chapter 3. So A4 is basically the saturated table for water, and the table is basically based on the temperature value, the A4. This is A5, which is saturated water pressure table, and we have another which is A6, which is for superheated region. Superheated region. So we have different tables, and you have to use it accordingly. So right now we have 300 kilopascal, and we have saturated vapor. So we have saturated vapor, which is somewhere here. So that's why I'm using the saturated water table, which is A5, and pressure is given. That's why I'm using A5. If the temperature is given, then I'll use A4. So step number 1, we have 300 kilopascal pressure. You can see here 300 kilopascal, and we have saturated vapor like this one. So we have to check the volume at point number 1, which is V1. So it will be this one. So I can say at 300 kilopascal with saturated vapor, the volume is 0.60582, or like this one. The pressure 300 kilopascal, saturated vapor, so V1 is basically Vg at 300 kilopascal, so I'll get 0.60582 meter cube per kg, this one. So this is basically V1. What about V2? Again, at the V2, we have the same pressure, which is 300 kilopascal, but the temperature is 200 Celsius. Temperature is 200 Celsius, which is more than the saturation temperature. The saturation temperature, which is like this one, the saturation temperature at 300 kilopascal is basically equal to 133.52. 133.52 is the saturation temperature, and the given temperature is 200, which is more than this one. So it's mean the state number 2 is basically in superheated region. So we have to check the superheated table. So for V2, we are going to check the superheated table. The superheated table is different than the saturated table. Here you will see different like blocks against each pressure. So right now we have 300 kilopascal. So we are basically using this table or using this block, this one, because this is 300 kilopascal or 0.3 megapascal. So the given temperature is 200, and we have to check the volume. So the volume is 0.71643 meter cube per kg, and these are this specific one. So this one is the volume using 300 kilopascal and 200 degrees Celsius from table A6. Now we have V1, we have V2, we have the pressure value, the mass value is given. So boundary work I can easily find out by using this formula. So we have MP V2 minus V1. So mass is given, which is 5. The pressure is given, which is 300 kilopascal. We have V2, we have V1. Now again, this is kilo. So at the end, you will get a kilo answer here. So when you will solve this one, you will get 165.9 kilojoule of the boundary work. And you can see the boundary work is having a positive value. So it's mean this is the expansion process. Now, the next question. Here we have a frictionless piston cylinder device. Initially contains 200 liter of the saturated liquid refrigerant 134A. The first thing is 200 liter. So liter is basically the unit of volume, but in SI we use the meter cube. So 1 liter is equal to 10 minus 3 meter cube. So 200 liter means 200 times 10 power minus 3, or 200 divided by 1000 meter cube. We have 200 liter of the saturated liquid refrigerant 134A. What is this refrigerant 134A? This is a pure substance. Like water, you will get a different pure substance in your course, and one of the pure substance is refrigerant 134A. For the refrigerant 134A, we have tables A11, A12, A13, and you have to use it as we were using for water. Now, the piston is free to move, and its mass is such that it maintains a pressure of 900 kilopascal. Now, it's going to maintain a pressure of 900 kilopascal, so it's mean the pressure is constant. Like previous question, in this question we have a constant pressure. The refrigerant is now heated until the temperature rises to 70 degrees Celsius, and you have to find the work done during this process. So, similar to the last question, we have the boundary work like this one. We have the boundary work which is M, P, V2 minus V1. So we have specific one. By using the given volume, so this is the given volume which is 200 liter, and this 200 liter is the volume of this saturated liquid. If you see, the value of mass is not given. As we don't know the value of mass, so how we can get the value of mass? Here we don't know any value of mass. So I'm going to solve for V1 and V2 first. So for V1, for this V1, we have saturated liquid, at 900 kilopascal. The saturated liquid at 900 kilopascal for R134A. So here we have saturated refrigerant R134A pressure table because pressure is given. So I'm going to use A12, saturated refrigerant 134A. We have 900 kilopascal. So where is 900? This is 900 kilopascal. Now in this case we have saturated liquid. So where is the saturated liquid? We have. So here against 900 kilopascal, the saturated volume is equal to 0.008580 meter cube per kg. So this is our V1. So the pressure 900 kilopascal and the saturated liquid volume or the V1 is equal to Vf at 900 kilopascal is this one. So this is meter cube per kg. And if you remember in the question, it is given that the initial volume is 200 liter of the saturated liquid. So the volume is given, and this is the specific volume. So with the help of volume and specific volume, we can find the mass like this one. So mass is equal to the volume upon the specific volume. So this is 200 liter or 0.2 meter cube divided by the specific volume, and you will get the value of 233.1 kilogram. I am using V1 upon V1. This is V1. The 200 liter is for the saturated liquid. It is not V2. So we have V1 upon V1, this volume upon specific volume, and you will get the mass, and mass is 233.1, and because it is a closed system, so mass M1 will be equal to M2, so there will be no change in the mass. So from here I know what is V1. Now in the question for the second state or the state number 2, the temperature was 70 degrees Celsius, but here if you see, the saturation temperature against 900 kilopascal is 35.51, and the state number 2 temperature is 70 degrees Celsius. So the temperature is more than saturation temperature. Temperature is more than this saturation temperature. So if the temperature is more than saturation temperature, then it's mean that the state number 2 is basically in superheated region. So we have to use this superheated table to find out the V2. So you can see here we have superheated table for refrigerant 134A, and this table is A13. Now we have 900 kilopascal, which is equal to 0.9 megapascal. So we have to use this table. We have 70 degree of the 70 degree of the temperature. So this is 70, and we have to check the volume. So volume somewhere here. So the value is this one. So we will get this one. So here we have P2 T2, which is like this one. So you will get a V2 of 0.027413. So in this case, we know what is V1, we know what is V2. We have already find out the value of mass, and the pressure is given. So the boundary work is like this one. So simply you have to put the values, and you will get the answer of 5571 kilojoule. Now our next question. This question is basically about constant temperature process. We have a piston cylinder device initially contains 0.4 meter cube of the air. Now we have air, so there is no need to use the tables. Rather than we will use PV is equal to MRT, the basic ideal gas equation. So volume is given, the initial volume is given, which is 0.4 meter cube, and the pressure is given 100 kilopascal, and temperature is 80 degrees Celsius. Now here, for the gases, the temperature should be in Kelvin. Remember, the temperature should be in Kelvin. So you have to add 273 in 80 degrees Celsius. The air is now compressed. The air is now compressed, so it's mean the volume is going to decrease, and you will get a negative value of boundary work. The new volume is 0.1 meter cube in such a way that the temperature inside the cylinder remains constant. So we have a isothermal process. So V1 is given, V2 is given, P1 is given, and T1 is given. The temperature is given, and you have to find the work done during this process. For this type of question, always try to draw a PV diagram. So here we have a PV diagram, we have a PV diagram, we have initial volume of 0.4 meter cube, final volume of 0.1, state number 1, state number 2, and the volume is going to change or decrease, and the pressure is going to increase, and we have a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius. So basically we are going to use an isothermal process, and for isothermal process, the equation for the boundary work is like this one. We have already studied this one. So we have the boundary work, which is equal to P1 V1 ln V2 upon V1. So we know what is P1, we know what is V1, we know ln, we know what is V2, even we know what is V1. So simply by putting the values, you will get the answer like this one, and you will get this one. So we are getting a negative value of 55.5 kilojoule negative, because we have a compression work. For the compression work, we will always get a negative value. So here you can see this equation, this one is only for an ideal gas equation. This is for an ideal gas equation. If we don't have any ideal gas equation, then you cannot drive like this one. So in the equation, when you're going to solve the question, so if you remember all these steps, so simply you can write this one and then this one. So there is no need to write all this stuff. This is in case if we have to drive it. So we have boundary work, which is equal to P1 V1 ln V2 upon V1, and just putting the values, you will get the boundary work. So this is an isothermal process. Not necessary that the process are constant volume, constant temperature, or constant pressure process. Rather, in real life or during actual expansion or compression processes of gases, the pressure and the volume are often related to PV power n equal to a constant value, where n and c are constant. So whenever we have any process which is basically obeying or following PV power n equal to a constant value, then it is called a polytropic process. Here you can see we have a piston cylinder device, and the gas is going to expand with the relationship PV power n equal to c. So you can see there is an expansion process. During an polytropic process, the PV n power c, PV power n equal to c. So we have P1 V1 n equal to c, so it should be equal to P2 V2 power n as well, because c is constant, so constant value for this one and this one will be same. So I can simply equate P1 V1 power n equal to P2 V2 power n. So actual processes are basically called polytropic process. and based on this n value or the index value, the process can be either adiabatic, constant pressure, constant temperature, or anything else. Let's suppose if we have a value of n equal to 1, so if n is 1, so it will be PV equal to C, so it's mean this is an isothermal process. So depending upon the n value, the nature of the process will be different. So for the polytropic process, how we can find the boundary work? So the answer is this one. Simply for the boundary work, we have the basic formula, the integral of PdV between the two limits from 1 to 2. So we have PdV. Now here I can easily replace this P or this P by C by V power n, and I can take this C outside from this integral sign. So we have V power n dV. Now because we have a power of n on it on V, so I cannot write ln V2 upon V1. Other than I have to solve it, and I will get an expression like this one. And then finally I will get like this one, P2 V2 minus P1 V1 upon 1 minus n. The complete derivation of this polytropic process is given here. You can see here we have a boundary work between the limits 1 to 2 PdV. So I'm going to replace this one by C V power n minus C V power minus n dV. I can simply take TC outside from the integral sign, so it will be like this, and then I'm going to integrate this one between these two limits, so I will get V minus n plus 1 divided by 1 minus n between the limits 1 to 2. I'm going to multiply this one C inside the equation and going to apply the limit, so I'll get 1 minus n, which is this one. So we have C V2 1 minus n, because we have the first limit here, upper limit, and then we have C V1 1 minus n. So I'll get this one. Now the C is simply PV power n. So for this one, for the first one, I'm going to write the P2 V2 power n for this C. So I'm going to write this P2 V2 power n for this C, and we have V2 from here 1 minus n. Then we have minus, and then we have C, which is P1 V1 n power V1 1 minus n. So when I'll solve this one, so I'll get P2 V2 n plus 1 minus n, so n will be cancelled out, so I will get only P2 V2 minus, here I will get P1 V1 because n will be cancelled out. So we will get P2 V2 minus P1 V1 upon 1 minus n, and this is the boundary work for polytropic process. But here let's suppose if I have a value of 1 for n, so it will be 1 minus 1 0, so something upon 0 will be an infinity, so it's mean I cannot use this formula for the isothermal process, because n equal to 1 is for isothermal process. So in any case, if we have an isothermal process, then this formula is not valid. For the isothermal process, I have to use the basic formula, which is P1 V1 ln V2 upon V1. So this is the boundary work for the polytropic process. Even I can replace the values of P2 V2 as well, because PV is equal to MRT. So simply I can replace this PV by MRT, so it will be like this one. I'm going to change, so instead of this P2 V2, I'm going to write MRT2 minus MRT1, and M, which is M is constant, which is mass, R is constant, and then I'll write T2 minus T1, so I can write WB is equal to, so either you are going to use this form, this one, or you are going to use this one. Both are same formulas for ideal gas equation. So for the polytropic process, we are going to solve a question here. You can see we have piston cylinder device initially contains 0.07 meter cube of the nitrogen gas, so ideal gas equation at 130 kilopascal and 120 degrees Celsius. Again, for the gas we have to use the temperature value in Kelvin. The nitrogen is now expanded to a pressure of 100 kilopascal polytropically within polytropic exponent. Polytropic exponent means value of n, whose value is equal to the specific heat ratio. Specific heat ratio of, now this is a new term. whenever we have the n equal to specific heat ratio, so then the process is called isentropic expansion. In this case, you have to determine the final temperature and the boundary work during this process. You have to find the final temperature and then the boundary work. Now here we have a polytropic process, and the value of n is given, which is the ratio of the specific heats. Normally we have two specific heats, one is Cp and one is Cv. The specific heat at constant pressure and the specific heat at constant volume. Now here, if you can see, the gas is nitrogen. So whenever we have the gas, then we can easily check the values of Cp and Cv from table A2. Table A2. Sorry, I think table A1. A1. From A1. Because for the gases we have a table of A1. So V1 is given. This is V1. We have P1 and we have T1. And then we have the final pressure, which is 100 kilopascal. Now, from the table, sorry, this is again at table A2. It's my mistake. From table A2, the properties of the nitrogen are, I can check what is the gas constant for nitrogen, because this is the gas constant. This is not the universal gas constant. This is gas constant. Whenever we are using PV is equal to mRT m, whenever we have m mass in the equation, then we have to use the gas constant rather than the universal gas constant. The universal gas constant is normally used when we have number of moles. So we have the value of R and we have value of K. Normally this K is the ratio of Cp upon Cv for nitrogen. So we have the N is equal to K, which is 1.4. So it's given. Then the polytropic exponent is equal to the specific heat ratio. So N is equal to K, which is 1.4. So we have R value, we have K value, or N is equal to K. Now we have V1, P1, T1, and P2, and we have to find what is T2. So the mass, if I'm going to check what is mass, so for the mass we have simple formula, P is equal to mRT. We know what is P1, we know what is V1, the value of R is given, and T1. You can see for the T1, I've added 273 in 120 degrees Celsius. So you have to put the values in Kelvin always. So when you will solve this one, you will get a answer of 0.07802 kilogram. So in this way we can find out the mass. Again, because it is closed system, so mass will be same. M1 and M2 are same. Again, using the same formula, I'm going to find out the V2. I can use the same formula, M is equal to P2 V2 upon RT2, but the problem is I don't know about the T2, so I can not find the V1. Rather than, I'm going to use the formula for the polytropic process, which is P1 V1 power n is equal to P2 V2 power n. And because the value of n is equal to k, so I'm just replacing P1 V1 power k is equal to P2 V2 power k. So I know what is P1, which is 130 kilopascal. I know V1, which is 0.07 power 1.4. This is 3. This 3 is for meter cube. So please don't use this one. So this is 0.07 power 1.4 equal to 100 kilopascal times V2 power 1.4. This way I can find out what is V2. So if I know what is V2, so again I can use this one to find out what is T2. So therefore, using the same equation, which is PV is equal to MRT, so T2 will be P2 V2 upon MR. M is this one because there is no change in the mass because the system is closed, and we have R, which is the gas constant. So we know what is the V2, and the value of P2 is given. So in this way you can find out the temperature or the final temperature, which is 364.6 Kelvin. So the temperature is given, the pressure is the temperature is given, and the volume is already we have calculated. So we know all the values. We have mass, we have P1 V1, we know what is P2 V2. Now we have to find what is the boundary work. For the boundary work, if you know all the values, then simply we can use the formula, which is P2 V2 minus P1 V1 upon 1 minus n, and n is equal to k. So I'm just putting the values straightforward. You have to put the values and you will get an answer of 1.64 kilojoule. Again, you can see the answer is positive value. So we have a expansion process. Moving to next question. Here, if you see, we have a gas which is compressed from an initial volume of 0.42 meter cube to a final volume of 0.12 meter cube. In this question, we have V1 and V2. Both values are given. During the quasi-equilibrium process, the pressure changes with the volume according to a relationship which is P is equal to AV plus B, where A is equal to 1200 kilopascal per meter cube and B is equal to 600 kilopascal. Now you have to calculate the work done during this process. We have two different parts for this question. We have, in the first part, we have to find the work done by plotting the process on a PV diagram and then finding the area under the curve. And in the second part, you have to perform the integration to find out the boundary work. If you see here, the relationship between the pressure and volume is P equal to AV plus B. This is basically an equation of straight line. Y is equal to mx plus b. So we have P is equal to A V plus B. So it's mean you will get a straight line. You will get a straight line if you are going to obey this relationship. So here the pressure of the gas changes linearly with volume because we have a straight line equation. And then if I'm going to draw the PV diagram, so here we have a 0.42 V1 and we have a this is V1 which is 0.42 and we have the V2 which is 0.12 meter cube. But we don't know what is the value of P1 and P2, but we know what is A and B. So if I know what is A and I know what is B, so simply using this equation I can find what is P1 and P2 in this way. So simply P1 is equal to A V1 plus B. So value of A is given which is a negative of 1200 times V which is 0.42 plus the value of B is given which is 600 kilopascal. So simply solving this one you will get P1 is equal to 96 kilopascal. For P2 we have A V2 plus B equal to like this one. Again I'm putting the same value, V1 is changed and this is the value of B. So you will get the value of P2. So we have P1, P2. So I know what is P1, I know what is P2. So I know the limits here, I know what is V1, I know what is V2. So for the work done I have to check the area under this line. So right now we can see that we have a trapezoid here. So either you can use the direct formula for the area of the trapezoidal shape, or you can construct a rectangle here. Like if I'm going to draw a line here, so it will be a rectangle plus this one is a triangle. So I can get the area for this rectangle plus the area of this triangle and you will get the complete work. Or simply if I'm going to use the area of the trapezoidal, so it will be like this. P1 plus P2 upon 2 times V2 minus V1. So this is the formula of the area of a trapezoidal shape. So just putting the values, you will get the answer. The answer is negative of 82.8 kilojoule, negative sign, because it is a compression process. In this way, you can easily find out the work done, or alternately, you can draw a line from here to here. So you will get a rectangle here, and you will get a triangle here. For the rectangle, we have P1. This line, this length is P1 times the delta V, and for this one, we will get a half times base times the altitude which is equal to P2 minus P1 and times we have the delta V here. So separately, if I'm going to find out the areas of these two shapes and then going to add, you will get the same answer which is minus of 82.8 kilo Pascal. So basically in this way you can use the plots to find out the work done under the area area under the line. Now in the part B, you have to integrate the basic equation to find out the work done. So for the part B, this is the part B. Simply we have the basic definition of the work done, which is PdV. I can replace this P by AV plus B because this relationship is given. So it's A, V plus B, and A is constant and B is constant. So when I'm going to integrate this one, so I'll get a v square upon 2 plus b v upon 2, and then between the limits, when I'm going to apply the limits, I'll get this one, a v2 square minus v1 square upon 2 plus b v2 minus v1. Here we have this one, so I'll get v2 square upon 2, and we don't have any v here, so I'll get bv. So when you will solve this one, you'll get answer of this one. So here we have a v1 v2 b v1 v2, and we know the values of these terms. So simply you have to put the values, and then you will get the same answer, which is minus 82.8 kilojoule. So this is the end of today's lecture. We have in this lecture we have studied about the boundary work and the polytropic work. In any case, if you have any problem, you can contact me through email. So we will start the new topic inshallah in next class. Thank you.